rules.
Okay.
I'm the architect in this matrix, which we will do soon. I don't know if you guys watched it yet fully. Kitty, I know you still got time to go, but I did watch it. I'm gonna probably watch it twice. Anyway, hey guys, it's just your average Joe here with Kit J. Oh, instead of MJ, Kit
Yeah,
J.
Kit J.
Okay, and the Black Spider-Man Electro was had asked about. Thank you for joining. I was wondering what Electro was talking about, but now that I know who he's talking about,
Graced our presence.
I'm glad to have you. But no, Jawan,
Thwip,
thank you for coming
thwip.
on. Thwip thwip.
Thwip, thwip.
Which also too, guys, besides that thwip thwip video, which is hysterical, that whole episode of Hot Ones is great. I did watch that as well.
One of the best hot ones since Idris Elba.
Tom Holland on Hot Ones is it's great. It really is.
Tom Holland cursing is just gold.
Yeah, it's
Gold.
something I didn't know I needed to see, but after I seen it, I'm like, thanks, Jawan. Thank you for because I also watch Hot Ones anyway. So I couldn't believe I missed it.
Hit up Joe.
What?
I said as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I gotta send this to Joe.
Yeah,
This
and
is
I'm glad you did.
Too funny.
All right, so let's let's get into it. Let's talk about why we're here. Spider-Man: No Way Home came out a week ago today for those of us in the States. For those of you across the pond, you guys got it over a week ago. I logged off of Instagram. That's my only social media platform that I'm on. So I logged off Instagram since Monday of that week. I wanted to go in, no leaks, no spoilers. I wanted everything to be spoiler free, and I'm glad I did. You know, although I already knew pretty much everything that we got, I already knew about it. But that being said, I can sit here and pick apart the movie like I have, and I'm not going to, because the truth of the matter is, I seen the film twice. I loved it both times. It made me feel happy. I teared. I clapped. I applauded. I had goosebumps. It gave me everything. And when working with the barometer of testing of how I go with what to rank or how to rate a movie, that's ultimately at the end of the day, that's what I want. That's what you want from any movie. You want to come out satisfied. You want to come out pleased. I can sit here and talk about plot holes. I can sit here and talk about, Electro not really supposed to be in there and stuff like that, which is true. But at the same time, it was cool to see. We already knew it was going to happen. We knew Electro was in the movie. We knew we were getting Doc Ock. We knew we were getting Green Goblin. We just didn't know, and Sandman. We just didn't know to what capacity and what role. I thought Willem Dafoe returning as Green Goblin was just amazing.
Yeah.
His presence on the screen, even now, the way he turned that character, and he played don't get me wrong, in the original Spider-Man 2002, it was great. But this version of him was just, so not only brutal with his strength, but like psychopathic when he was just getting wailed at and just laughing in Parker's face. I loved it. Alfred Molina, I love the actor, but him returning as Doc Ock from, spoiler alert, I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to be doing a ranking, but Spider-Man 2 is still my favorite film. It is. No Way Home is right behind it, but Spider-Man 2 is still my favorite Spider-Man film, and Doc Ock is a big reason for that. So I do want to say, seeing Doc Ock back on the screen again, somewhat of a reduced role that I thought was going to be, but I'm okay with it because they had so many villains that they really did need to pace the timing, and in doing so, characters like Lizard and Sandman were really underutilized, especially Lizard. But again, concentration on Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin, I loved. We can all talk about it now. I loved seeing all three Spider-Men on the screen at the same time. And I appreciated the fact that they weren't just a cameo at the end. I love that you brought them in with probably almost 40 minutes left to go in the movie. They actually had effects in the story itself. It wasn't just, Tom Holland Spider-Man's getting beat. He needs help. And then all of a sudden they just swing in at the end, pun intended. I like that we got more of an interaction with them. I do love that. So, the only thing that was really surprised, because I already knew about Matt Murdock coming. That was all speculation, but I kind of already knew that whole scene word for word. And like I said, the other Spider-Man coming in wasn't really much of a surprise either. The one thing I was surprised about was Aunt May's death. That was the only thing I didn't see coming. I didn't. And that was another thing that was, a very emotional scene, especially for what this character and Peter Parker and Tom Holland's Peter Parker is going through. these last few movies, especially losing Iron Man and Endgame. You know, a lot of things are happening to him at such a young age that it is going to define him moving forward. And I agree with Juwan. You know, it took a 3-movie arc, but the fact that he is all alone now, and the fact that he's not going to be able to be reliant on Stark Tech. I mean, hell, they don't even recognize Peter Parker anymore. Edith's not going to work because he's not Peter Parker. Like, they don't know who Peter Parker is. So he's going to have moving forward. He created he stitched up his own uniform, which is beautiful. Love it. I can't wait to see more of it at the end of the film. And we're finally going to get Tom Holland. This is almost like an origin story, to be honest with you. Without being an origin story, this is Tom Holland's Spider-Man origin story.
Yep.
So the more I think about it, the more I hear you guys talk about it, the more, and like I said, I watched it twice. I do appreciate it more. And also, this film did something I thought would never be possible, and it made me appreciate Andrew Garfield even more so. That scene of him, and I speculated that since the trailer, but that scene of him saving MJ, even talking about it now, I'm getting goosebumps.
Mm-hmm.
I cried more with that scene, I didn't cry. I teared up more in that scene than I did with Aunt May dying, to be honest with you. And then, of course, the end scene with Tom Holland and Zendaya acting the shit out of each other. Just that scene of them two together, and the pain that I knew he was gonna not only he was gonna have to endure, but her, even Ned losing a friend, but more so her. It's like, no, and her saying, I love you. And he went to say it back, and her saying, no, wait, tell me when you see me again. That made me feel like that was an emotional scene as well. So before we get into how you guys felt about the film, and listener Jim had a comment, I was happy with the surprises. I always felt Andrew's movies always got a bad rap, which they did. And I never faulted Andrew Garfield for it. I just, when you go in, like, you know, the whole film itself, especially Amazing Spider-Man 2, he did get a bad rap because the film wasn't that good. I love the struggles that his Spider-Man felt and lived with, and the redemption was great to see for him, and I agree. I agree. Spider-Man is still an Avenger, but the Avengers have no clue who he is for how to contact him. The ending was just so sad. It is true. It is. So the existence of Spider-Man is still there, but they just don't know him as Peter Parker.
Yeah, but they do know how to contact him.
He's Spider-Man.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they know how to contact Spider-Man.
Well, how does that work, though? Hold on. And this is, I don't want to get into this because this is tough, because going into the conversations, well, does he have a social security card, or does he have his identity? He still has an identity, just nobody knows it. But the phone call that Nick Fury called him on wasn't Spider-Man's phone, it was Peter Parker. So is it still going to ring?
No, but again, that's not the only way. Wong is clearly everyone's gatekeeper. So Wong and Strange still know Spider-Man.
They just don't know Peter Parker.
I can just open up a portal and go, all right, Spider-Man, come on, I need your help. That's it. You know?
And I'm still hopeful. I don't think it is the case, because there's other ways that they can do it. I am still hopeful that there was something that Strange put in that spell. I don't know how you guys feel. I'm hoping that something was put in that spell as a stipulation.
Not.
No?
I hope not, because if you were going to do it, it should have been done with MJ. That's where you put the stipulation.
That's where I thought the stipulation, and there's going to be something that's going to jog her memory, because there was still some type of familiarity between her and Peter in the donut shop. You know, he did strike a chord with her. Like, she felt something. You could see that. Not that he was Peter Parker or she knew who he was, but they are alluding to the fact that there is going to be something with her that's, I don't know, either going to be awoken, but something is there. And then it also could be that they're meant to be together. They still have that chemistry. So whether she knows who Peter Parker is or not, they could still end up together. I love his reaction when the police told him, Fury, yeah. Because Fury was...
She was still wearing that broken Black Dahlia necklace.
Yeah.
It's like, where'd she get that, you know?
I understood what you meant. No, I knew you didn't meet Mom.
Well,
that's why I didn't, yeah.
The necklace, because I was telling Joe this, because a lot of people are under that assumption. No one was blipped. So nothing physical, like intangible. It's why Peter still had Ned's Emperor Palpatine from the thing that they built in Homecoming.
Yeah.
Items won't blip. She just probably saw it and had no idea where she got it from.
Yeah.
But she still loves the necklace. She loved that necklace when she saw it, especially it being broken. So she probably saw it and said, I don't know where I got this, but I really like this necklace, and chose to keep it. So, because I know a lot of people are like, well, why would she still have that? Well, She wouldn't take it off if she likes the necklace. If you woke up with a Rolex but had no idea how you got it, you would still go, I'm going to wear it. But I don't really know where I got it from. So,
yeah, the more I thought about it, that's exactly the conclusion that I came up to. That's why I'm saying he still has a social security number. He still has an ID.
Right. Just
nothing
people don't know who Peter Parker is.
Yeah, nothing of his or anything concrete. Like, here's the other thing, though, too, and I don't know if this is the case, but Flashpoint's book, the Flashpoint could still be a book. You know, I don't think that disappeared, but what...
No,
because now I back myself in the corner.
That book is gone.
But why? Why is the book gone and not...
In the book, the whole book is about him being friends with
Peter Parker. Exactly.
Spider-Man, sorry. So that now is nullified. That's now nullified because no one knows who Peter Parker is. So if the book does exist, he doesn't remember anything that he wrote.
Right. So that's why I'm saying it's more plausible that the book does exist. He just doesn't remember it or why he wrote it.
I would like to think that might have been something that just doesn't exist anymore.
Well, yeah, I'm hoping that I don't know how you guys feel about Flash Thompson. I'm hoping Flash Thompson doesn't exist anymore. I'm just like, all right, I'm done. I'm done with Flash Thompson. I'm glad he got blonde hair though.
I love Flash. I was supportive of Flash when they were casting Homecoming, and everyone kept saying, "What? He's not even physically imposing." And I'm like, bro, you're in a time where bullies aren't physical; they're mental.
Yeah,
they'll bully you on social media. They'll whisper about you and have people thinking you're penis Parker and whatnot. That's what today's society is. So I'm like, I don't think anyone gets shoved in lockers since like 1980. So I'm like,
hey, I got shoved in a locker in 1996, so it's not true.
Well, in 2014 or 16 when that movie came out, I don't think it was as plausible that your bullies were more physical.
Yeah, I don't think you need a physical bully or a...
So that's why Flash being almost the same body type as Peter, but he's just more of the cool rich kid who just picks on Peter was awesome. It was more plausible. I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
Well, yeah. Flash wasn't an imposing character in Garfield's universe either. He was just a douche.
Flash at all. I don't remember Flash. Wait,
Flash was the blonde kid, the basketball scene, right? Wasn't that Flash? Where Andrew was teasing him with the basketball?
Oh, was that a deleted scene? Was that actually?
No, that was actually in the movie.
Yeah.
Remember the ball comes rolling, like he purposely made the ball knock over the girl's paint. Where they were doing something where she was decorating for I don't know if it was a homecoming or a prom or something. And he's like, "Oh, you want the ball back?" And he just kept messing with him and to humiliate him in front of the whole class in the gym.
All right, you remember it at all.
But also too, you don't want a 40-year-old one from Tobey Maguire's universe and Joe Is it Manganiello? How do you say his last name? Manganiello. And Joe Manganiello either. You know, that is your quintessential like 80s and 90s high school bully. It's
right.
true. It really is.
Everybody in that movie was 40 years old.
Yeah, they were. Yes.
Yeah, that made sense.
All right, guys, I broke it down how I felt about it. And like I said, I did add his plot holes with Electro being the biggest one, but at the same time, I still enjoy this movie from beginning to end. And it gave me all these different emotions. So that being said, it is my second favorite Spider-Man movie of all time, and possibly top 5. I gotta really look at my MCU list again, but it might even be top 5 MCU. What did you guys feel about this film? Kitty, I'll start with you because I was already on a spoiler review with Juwan. I already know how he feels. So let's go with you.
I would say it's spoiler alert. It's probably my favorite Spider-Man.
Okay.
Yeah. Only because my favorite Spider-Man was this second Tobey Maguire one because of Doc Ock.
Yeah.
And I got Doc Ock in this. And I, unlike anybody else, for a very long time till Tom Holland came out, Andrew Garfield was my favorite Spider-Man. He was my favorite Spider-Man, not favorite Peter Parker, favorite Spider-Man.
I can see that.
And then when Tom Holland came out, he embodied my favorite Spider-Man and
Peter Parker. And I agree with you 100%.
So there was just no way around it. Andrew Garfield had to take a back seat. I'm sorry. I enjoyed Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man movies because I like Gwen Stacy. I liked Emma Stone. I liked that whole aspect of it.
It was comic accurate though too. Like his first love was Gwen Stacy. Yes. So I get you 100%.
Yes.
How great would it have been though too? And this is what I always think about now. And again, nothing against Andrew Garfield, because his performance in this film alone made me appreciate him more. Hell, if we even get an Amazing Spider-Man 3, I won't hate it. I don't know if I need it, but whatever. But how great would it have been if they would have given us Tom Holland in that universe, but done right, done MCU way, where he starts off with Gwen Stacy and he starts out young, and we do get that. And I kind of do wish we would have gotten that. I kind of wish we would have gotten. I'm not saying anything bad about Andrew Garfield's version. I'm glad we did get him because we got Andrew Garfield from it. But I would have liked it if we would have went from Toby, and it would have, given us like a 10-year break, and then we would have went right into this rebooted era where it's not 3 Spider-Mans, we have 2, but it was done right. Like you start out with Gwen Stacy, then you go on to either MJ or Michelle Jones Watson, whichever one you want to do, because I don't want to take Zendaya out of this equation at all. I would have loved that. I would have loved it. You would have gotten the origin story, you would have gotten everything else and possibly other things from it. But at the same time,
but no, I like it the way they did it, because you start off with MJ, then you go to Gwen, and then you do another love that no one ever talks about.
So you think we are going to get? You think we're going to get Gwen?
No, I don't think we need Gwen. I think you just bring Liz Allen back. I think you bring Liz Allen back, because remember, now she has no memory of Peter Parker.
Oh, that's right. She can't chirp because she was chirping. She was chirping.
Peter Parker.
He's a liar.
That could be again. I'm not saying Liz Allen be the love of his life,
right?
But it could be his. When they talk about college, you taking like an off year.
Yeah.
Liz Allen would be his off year before something happens that jogs MJ's memory back, and then you connect that dot again. But to me, I like the difference of MJ.
It is true, Peter. We all love you. I mean, there's no denying that. But that actually does work now. I understand what you're saying, but that actually sucks for Liz because she's just a rebound then.
Liz was always going to be just a temporary. MJ was always going to be the end game. What
about Betty? Betty Brant was also a love interest.
Absolutely not.
No. Well, you can't now because she dated Ned. But Ned, hey, it's fair game because Ned doesn't know who he is.
Even if she didn't date Ned, Betty Brant, there's just too many other. I'm
teasing.
If you want to go outside the box, bring in Felicia.
Yeah. Oh, I would love that, and that's a good way to bring her in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So personally, I don't think they will recast Venom. I think they'll just have the symbiote effect.
Yeah, that was the end credit scene that I think will happen. I think whatever happens, I think that's going to happen too. There's no need to
recast Venom because I would be okay because what I think they need to do, and this is what I'm hoping. We don't know if they're going to do it. Everybody's saying that he can infect Flash or he can infect whatever, but and Peter, I get it. He hates Venom, and I can't blame him. But what I think, where I'm hoping, I think happens is that we get the Black Suit origin story in this MCU. And we don't need the Venom character because it's just Peter dealing with the suit and dealing with a way to try to separate himself with it. That way you don't need to recast because you can still have Tom Hardy as Venom.
Yeah.
No. When he gets the black suit, I want the black suit to end with it affecting whoever your Venom is going to be. Venom needs to exist in the same world as Spider-Man, whether it's Hardy or not.
Right.
But you don't have to recast because that's assuming you even want to use Eddie Brock.
Right. You don't even need to use Eddie Brock. You can use somebody else.
You could use someone else.
Yeah.
I think that this was their way of introducing him into this world. However, they feel like doing it. Yeah.
And Peter, I think Jawan has the same sentiments as you. He hates the multiverse.
Oh, with an extreme passion. I can't wait for it to die. A slow, painful death.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Unlike I enjoyed this Spider-Man. I thought it was great. I thought it was great. I didn't like that Aunt May died.
I know.
I understood it. I get it.
Yeah.
I understood it. Like that happens in the other multiverses. There's a death that impacts him in that way, and that line is said. I get it. I got it, but it really it took me. I didn't appreciate that part. But other than that, I thought the movie was amazing. It was probably one of the most heartfelt Spider-Man that have been created to date.
100%.
The acting between just himself was amazing, heartfelt between him and Zendaya.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. I plot holes, yes. I could look over those plot holes because I thought the movie was just amazing from beginning to end. And yes, in my top 5, number 1 Spider-Man to me.
Okay. No, and look, and that's what I was saying. Like I did pick apart the film, and that's what I mean. I love doing the YouTube videos. I love doing spoiler reviews and this and that. But sometimes at the end of the day, I'm like, but why do I sound like a dick? Like I'm pit parking. I'm what do you call it? I'm nitpicking at scenes and stuff like that just for the sake of saying, hey, this is what I didn't like. But I did see. I saw the film twice in the movies. I loved it.
And there's just, when there's just, it's hard when you're watching a movie and you're in there and there's just parts of it. This movie there's parts of it where you're clapping your hands and you're just like, oh my God. Cause it's just like, that little scene with Matt Murdock, you're just like, oh my God. You're just like flipping out. And then all the Spider-Mans, when he's portaling in, first Andrew Garfield, and then he portals in, you're just like, what's happening? You're just clapping your hands. And then when all 3 of them are on the Statue of Liberty, like shooting their webs and talking, there's not many movies where you're clapping your hands and you have that's just an amazing film to me. You know what I mean? And that's what that did.
I agree. There was so much hand slapping. It was crazy. A lot of hand slapping. But yeah, that's what made and the other thing is too. And this is the type of film, and I've said this on several other streams too. Like, I know we got a lot of at-home, in-home releases with HBO Max and whatever, Amazon, whatever other platform we were getting them, and either to rent or purchase. But this was the film that you see opening night. This is the film you see in a packed theater, which I did twice. They were both packed because the audience, even though sometimes louder than the film, and you're like, shut the fuck up, I want to hear what they're saying. But it was the audience reaction that made you like it even more so. The clapping, we got the clap when they came to, obviously with Matt Murdock first, but when Andrew comes through and youth pastor Toby comes through, we got that. We got the clap at the end with with Toby basically saying, no, dude, like, without saying anything, stopping him from killing Goblin. And then he gets stabbed and everybody's like, what the fuck? You killed Toby? What? And then it's like, oh no, I'm fine. I get stabbed all the time. But yeah, this seeing in the theater,
But even still, like the last end credit scene when you're seeing how What If tied into.
Oh, I didn't even see listener Jim say what I said. I'm sorry. This is how the crowd participation as much as Endgame it did, and it was awesome. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, and just like I'm sorry, just like even when you're towards the end, even at the end credit scene, like what Doctor Strange, when you're seeing how What If ties into that, and you see Strange super, you're just like, oh my God, you're just like from beginning to end, you're just like, I sat through this whole movie experience and nothing about it just made me upset, Yeah. This guy.
Rest in peace, though. You got to say it. I mean, with great power comes great responsibility. My uncle and your aunt. Don't forget, your aunt also said that. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, killing off Aunt May. I mean, just losing Marissa Tomei alone. Yeah. Losing her alone, losing her character and what she brought
I think I told Joe, why didn't they kill Ned?
You know what I didn't like, though? I didn't like the fact that they had, because that happened in Far From Home, too, if you remember. I don't like the fact that they had to do the breakup twice. Like, she said the same exact thing in Far From Home, where, it was just a fling. We're having a good time or whatever. And it's just like, I mean, she didn't break up with him, but she was basically telling him, like, it's just a fling. We had a good time. And she didn't seem like she was into him as much. But, I was just like, all right. But it was funny. It was funny because you see Happy crying. And then, of course, we see the scene where, what do you call it? Peter's like half naked in the room. And she's like, practice safe sex. And she goes, oh, my God, it's MJ. And like, she's like, a pleasure meeting you, whatever. But yeah, really quick, because then I want to go into Juwan. Well, I don't want to go into Juwan. You know what I meant. Black Suit also gives them a way to do Peter Parker cameo with the Fantastic Four. They do so choose. Yeah, and that's what I was saying, too, when we were breaking down it on Juwan's channel. The possibility of now introducing Reed Richards into that storyline because he helps him in the comics. So, yeah. I'm hoping.
Many times that we try to pull Reed Richards into this since
Reed Richards. Trust me, I know. Once we finally get him, though, it's going to be great.
Mhm.
Just the new. I want to recast them. I don't necessarily need 2005 Reed Richards, but I'll say for a cameo.
Miles Teller, Reed Richards.
Yeah, no, but
No, he's talking about Ian.
no. What's his face? The one that played in 2005.
Yeah, that's Ian.
Yeah, no, but Kitty said the one from Josh.
Yeah,
Trank.
Kitty thought from
Josh.
We don't want any Reed Richards. That's
No,
been
but they're talking about a cameo with the one that played in 2005, and I didn't think he did a bad job. Those movies get a bad rap. I enjoyed the first one. I did.
I enjoyed the second one. It just had a really
The
bad
Galactus the Clown. Exactly.
That's it. It was
Yeah.
a solid
Silver
movie.
Surfer. Mwah, loved it.
Silver Surfer was great. Just come on, guys. Let's just give us a good
But
one.
Galactus as a cloud. Oh,
I don't think either one of those movies are bad. I think you
No.
casted great for that time. You cast the hottest actress at that point. Michael Chiklis was fresh off of Shield.
Mhm.
Ian was really the more so unknown, and then of course Chris Evans from all the comedies that he did beforehand.
Awesome.
It was from Nip Tuck. What's his name that played Doom?
Yeah.
So you got the hottest actors you could find in Hollywood at that time, young actors at that time. So it made sense for the castings. I enjoyed all of them. I thought it was really messed up that the only person that could be in love with Ben Grimm was a blind woman. I thought that was just like the most offensive
but
thing ever.
Hot.
Like, no,
A hot blonde
why
woman.
couldn't it just be
A blind woman.
who actually loved Ben for who he was?
That was Kerry Washington, right?
It was Kerry Washington.
Oh.
Like the fact that you had to tell Ben, hey, the only way you can find love is if she can't see what you want. Like if she can't see anything, you're good. You're good. That's where love comes from.
That's true. That is true. Kitty, anything before we move to Juwan? Anything you want to add?
No, it's a great movie. I'm gonna score a ranking it. I'm gonna give it a score 9.8.
9.8. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
9.8.
I think I went 8.5 with this one. I think 8.5. Yeah. 8.5.
9.8 at it.
8.5. Yeah.
Then the 0.2 I got off because of the plot holes.
Okay. No, the plot holes for me, like I said, there were a couple, and the other thing I didn't discuss too, but there's also another nitpick. But I would have liked to have seen Sandman alternate between Flint Mark or whatever. But if they did it because they didn't want to pay the actor as much, like hey Thomas, you're going to be in the very end scene. We're just going to use you as mud for the whole film. But other than that, yeah, there's really not much bad you can say about this film. Juwan, how did it make you feel? Let's talk about it.
Oh, well, since I was the only Spider-Man that wasn't allowed to be in this movie, I gave it a 3.5. But outside of that, I appreciated everything. I loved Aunt May dying. I told you how necessary that was.
Yeah, no, necessary.
The
Still
writer
hurt.
said back in Homecoming, they never had any interest in using Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
Uncle Ben was never something they wanted to do. So at some point, you kind of knew Aunt May was going to bite some kind of bullet. At some point, somebody had to say those words.
See, I didn't expect that, and I'll tell you why. And I said this on your show as well. I just always assumed that they were bypassing the, we're going to make a Batman, but we're not going to show you the Waynes getting killed in the alley. We're gonna start from here. We're not going to show you the origin story.
Right.
So I thought it was going to be off camera.
What I loved about it was they went unique because it would be the equivalent of a 25, 30-year-old Bruce Wayne losing Alfred.
Yeah.
And then not having anyone. You know what I'm saying? It's the equivalent of you go through the whole process of he does lose his parents. You don't hear about it because we already know. You don't see it because we already know.
Mm-hmm.
And then boom, one day the Joker throws a bomb. It kills Alfred. And now it's like, well, what does Bruce do? What does Bruce do when there's no Alfred? There's no one to kind of his compass.
Somebody's joining in the stream right now and saying to themselves, what? Wait, am I in Spider-Man spoiler review? I'm here in Batman and Joker.
No,
but what I'm saying is I just assumed from the very beginning when we got Homecoming and it was already told to us that, look, you're not going to see Uncle Ben dying again. You've seen it too many times. You're not going to get the origins. You're not going to see the spider bite. It was done. It was done. It was off camera. So we already got, he did lose Uncle Ben. He did obviously lose his parents. I don't know how, but he lost his parents as well because he was entrusted by his aunt and uncle. So I just assumed everything that we've gotten from previous Spider-Man films, even that one line, and I said this, with great power comes great responsibility. I just assumed it was said off camera. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying I didn't really need Aunt May's death as a catalyst because we already had the catalyst. We just didn't see it.
Yeah, but to me, whenever you say you had no interest in using Uncle Ben, I assume that means in any respects. Like, we don't know. Like, Uncle Ben could have died when Peter was 5.
Yeah, we
So of
don't know
course
when he
he
died.
didn't
You're
say
right.
Peter was 5.
You're right. No, you're right.
Like,
But-
what? As you're dying, you're just like, hey, with great power comes great responsibility. It's like, I don't know. What are you
So
talking about?
here's the other thing, though. Here's the other thing you could say, like, all right, oh, they're not doing the Uncle Ben thing. All right, so they're probably gonna kill off Aunt May. Who are they gonna cast? Marissa Tomei? All right, she's not dying. She's too hot. She's too hot. Can't let her go.
Did I want the hottest
No, I
artist
know.
ever casted for
I
a
know.
Spider-Man movie to go? No. But
One thing I want that may not happen is Peter working at the Daily Bugle in the next trilogy.
no, I don't. People keep saying
Mm.
that. No, there's no need for a Peter Parker in the Daily Bugle. It's a podcast. What would he do? Go take
still be-
photos and put it on Instagram? No, it's not the way this world is building Spider-Man.
You know why I didn't need Aunt May to die? Because Tony died.
I know, I said that too, but Tony is.
Tony wasn't meant to mean as
Yeah.
much as Uncle Ben or Aunt May was. So it
But
was
he
just one
did,
of the-
though. That's what was the.
And that's what I had said too. It seemed that because they didn't give us Uncle Ben, that he was almost like the surrogate Uncle Ben, you know, and that was the other thing too.
Yeah, it was what they were molding, but remember, it was a mentor, and it hurt Peter, right?
Yeah.
But we see what Peter was going through when May died. That's a different kind of hurt. That was a hurt that he thought he wasn't going to be able to come from. He was ready to kill for May. When he lost Stark, he just kind of lost his direction of kind of like, where do I fit in this whole scheme of Avengers? He couldn't really find his own way. May dying made him not want to do anything. I don't care anymore. Send them back. They die. I'll rip his throat out. I'll kill this guy. I don't care anymore. So that to me was just a different kind of hurt. So I thought they did a great job of kind of separating that hurt to where it was a difference.
I can't argue with that, listener Jim. The world's not been right since Tony died. It's true. I mean, that actually did change a lot of things. It did.
But it's only grown bigger, which I enjoy.
She said. That is what
whenever
she
you
said.
take something out that's significant and you expand on everything else,
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy that. Like
Until
I'm getting Knight and Blade.
Until he comes back.
Right. It's easy to not really think that much about Stark when I'm getting all these good things.
But just, you know what though? But how sweet is it going to be when we see RDJ again? Which we are. We know he's coming back.
He'll either be in Doctor Strange 2 or he'll be in Secret Wars. And when he does, it'll be fun. It's a secret. That's right.
Oh, you know what I mean to ask you really quick, and I know I'm sidetracking, but this, because you brought up Secret Wars, what's the difference between Secret Wars and Secret Invasion that we're getting?
Oh, well, Secret Invasion is purely Skrulls.
That's just Skrulls. I knew that was Skrulls, but
invasion.
okay.
It's a Skrull invasion. So
Okay.
Secret Invasion it's the Skrulls have been planting seeds, right? So Val was a Skrull. Mockingbird was a Skrull. We had Skrulls everywhere. And all it turns out, Secret Invasion is just the fallout of when you start to find out, like, whoa. Val was a Skrull. Like, when Fury found that out, he's just like, well, what the hell is going on? And then you find out this hero was a Skrull. This villain was a Skrull. And it's the unfolding of everything. So that's why making Secret Invasion a show makes sense, because you haven't done anything to build an event film.
Yeah.
So it would be more so like finding out, like, wait, that guy that gave Peter water that one time was a Skrull? That's crazy. Like, what? The guy who used to hit buttons in S.H.I.E.L.D. was a Skrull? That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be a smaller level, but it will lead to something bigger.
The only reason why I guess you can say, well, not all of them are, but I thought it was established that the Skrulls weren't actually the enemy in Captain Marvel. But I guess what we're saying is there are ones that are still bad.
Yes, it's like people. Good people, bad people.
I hate and that's why I hate people, John. I just hate them.
I don't disagree with you at all.
All right, let's go back to the spot. Well, what else that you like?
So to go back to what he was saying, if you played Marvel Spider-Man, the PlayStation game that came out a few years ago.
Love it.
Peter Parker there, his work is science. This Peter Parker's work will be either tech-based or pure science. It won't be a Daily Bugle. Go ahead.
He's got an opportunity in what do you call it? Another dimension in Oscorp. You know, if he ever pops in, he has a job there.
If
you don't mind commuting,
right? But no, and here's a prime example of how you know it's almost impossible to do that angle of the Daily Bugle. Betty Brand works at the Daily Bugle, but
Yeah.
she's their social media ambassador.
TikTok.
She does TikTok videos and stuff like that. So that lets you know there's no print media, there's no space for that for Peter. And you never set up Peter liking photography. So if that movie ended to where he grabs his camera, it's just like you did nothing to set that up. You
Yeah,
never
I agree.
that he was into photography.
That makes sense. You're right. He hasn't held the camera at all in either of the films.
Any interest in anything.
Science makes more sense. Science or tech. I agree with you.
I even say they left the door open for him to actually take a Stark internship at some point. And get back in that way.
Yeah.
So it's just more tech and science based. But no, I love this movie, and like I said, that Aunt May dying scene was so important for me. It was as important for me as Gwen dying in Amazing Spider-Man 2. You just need those moments that break your hero enough for them to have to really figure out who they are. What do you want to be? You know what I'm saying? And as you heard Andrew Spider-Man say, he went through some dark times, some real dark times. So I don't know if he's insinuating he killed some people. I maybe broke a back or something. I don't know. But when you tell me a Spider-Man went dark, I'm like, well,
he did say he pulled his punches. So yeah, we don't know what don't know what dark means.
Dark did you go? So now my question is, when that movie ends and he's swinging the sewer top at Rhino, did he like knock him down and then bash his brains into the sewer top? Like, what did he mean? I'm curious. But no, this movie was great. It was needed. I'm glad we didn't go the Craven route. I'm glad we went this route because there won't be many more opportunities you have to where you could bring something like this together.
Yeah.
So I appreciated it a lot. And the biggest thing that stood out to me in this movie was Wong letting us know he's Sorcerer Supreme now.
Yeah. By technicality.
By technicality.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. And I love how Strange the way he said it was so nonchalant, like he didn't even care anymore. Like he stressed about it when he first came back and was like, all right, cool. So this is what we're going to do today, class. And Wong's like, whoa, no, you don't run things here anymore. That's
and me. Also too, for anyone that doesn't realize or thinks this differently, that doesn't mean that Wong is stronger than Strange.
It's a title.
That's a title.
Yeah,
it's just a title.
It's a title. It's what you have access to within the Sanctum Sanctorum.
Yeah.
So now Strange has to ask permission for stuff. Like, hey, Wong, you mind if I look at this book?
Yeah. And by the trailer too, Wong's getting his ass kicked in Doctor Strange too.
I'm telling you, at some point in that movie, Wong's just gonna go, I'm not the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah, you are. I abdicate the throne. Here you go.
Strange is gonna go, no. That was you. Don't try to put that back on me. But no, I loved it. I even love when Strange is like, I'm gonna do this spell, and Wong's just like, all right, just don't involve me.
Yeah, I'm on.
Do it, but
I wasn't here. I wasn't here.
If anyone asks, I was out of town that day.
Which is totally different from what we got cut in the trailer.
Yes, where he was very adamant on.
Yeah.
Do not do that spell under any circumstance.
Yeah.
And Strange was just like,
okay, I won't. And then he winks to
leave, right.
Yeah.
Whip this spell right through.
He's like, thwip.
That's exactly what he said to Peter. He said, thwip. And Peter was like, I know what that means. But I did enjoy this a lot. I enjoyed the seeds of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness that we got from this.
Mm-hmm.
I also enjoyed seeing Strange kind of just figure out in that moment why he never wants kids. And that's always a fun highlight for me when people realize, no, I can't do it. I thought I could at some point, but no. These kids have ruined every ounce of that for me. When he comes out of the portal and he's just like, I've been hovering for hours. Like as soon as he saw
it was
that,
great. And all I thought about was Loki. Was when Loki says that line, he goes, "I've been falling for the what does he say for the last 15 minutes?"
Right. Which I would have liked a callback to that, to where Strange comes out. And goes, that's how that feels.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But no, I loved it. I loved the little magic they're setting up with Ned. I can't wait to see how that plays out.
Yeah, we also thought so too. That something was I don't know if that's what listener Jim means, but I thought for a while the Doctor Strange in this movie was Mephisto or an evil version of Strange. Yeah, because he was giving off and Jawan kept shooting that down, and rightfully so. He was giving off no, no pun intended. He was giving off strange vibes. He was giving off something seemed off, but that was just the way the trailer was cut. There was.
I kept saying, because the way you guys were explaining it, I'm like, well, if you're explaining it that way, it just doesn't make sense. Doctor Strange is always beat to his own drum. So I'm like, if he feels in that moment that that's the right thing to do, he's going to do it regardless. He doesn't care what Wong thinks. This is the same thing Strange would have did in the first movie. It is what he did. The Ancient One specifically said, we don't practice dark magic. That was the first thing Strange went to go do, was practice some dark magic. So that's why I'm saying, to me, it didn't strike me as like, well, that can't be the real Strange. I'm like, no, he's
well, there were moments where I thought it wasn't the real Strange, especially when he was like, call me Steven or something, and he was like, they were playing where it was like
trying to do that.
They were trying to pull you in ways where you thought it wasn't the real Strange, especially when you saw the trailer, the end credit scene at the end, and you saw a dark version of Strange. So it kind of loops you into think it wasn't, but
they even did this in one of the later trailers, or it might have even been a TV spot. And it was delivered almost the same exact way in the movie, but for some reason in the movie the context was completely different. So in the one TV spot or trailer where it was alluded to, I know Ned is the one that says it, but I don't know if Ned says it in the TV spot about I can't believe I'm in the the Santorium or the Sanctum Santorium, and he says, either can I. Almost like you're like, wait a minute, why can't he believe he's in the Sanctum? But he's talking about Ned. He's like, I can't believe you're here either.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So it was things like that. The way the trailers were cut, they wanted people to think that something was off with Strange.
Yeah, I never bought into it. I would say watching Far From Home, when you look back, knowing how that movie ended, you can see how that's not Nick Fury and Maria Hill.
Yeah,
a lot clearer than watching this and going, no, that's just Doctor Strange. But when you watch that, like, think about how overprotective Fury got when Spider-Man was like, well, just call Captain Marvel. Don't invoke her name. Yeah. Like, he got really like, don't you dare say her name. And it's like, oh, all right. Relax.
Somebody else pointed out, too, though, and I didn't pick this up, when he was talking about the worlds. He says your world. He doesn't say ours.
Right.
He's from your world. So that was another thing that slipped. I didn't realize it at the time. But if you go back and watch it, he said that because he's a Skrull. He doesn't live on Earth.
Right.
But
last thing about Spider-Man I wanted to mention was that there was a mention of New Asgard.
Yes, there was. Yeah. On the bottom of the screen.
Right.
Yeah.
How it's in dissension.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious if Thor does get his status back. And then you maybe have Thor Love and Thunder there is a new Thor, but Thor is more the All-Father of that little nest area that they have out carved of their own of New Asgard. Because clearly whatever Valkyrie is doing, it's not working. So
yeah, I was curious to know what that meant because he gave it to Valkyrie, and I'm just like, what is he taking it back? Something's got to go. But it says, I think New Asgard's in turmoil, or it is dissension?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was dissension.
Something like that. But yeah, so something. I was telling my friend Frank because he's a huge Thor fan. And I was like, "Did you catch the Thor reference that they had on the bottom of the screen in the one of the news breaks?" He said, "No." I was like, "Yeah, they talk about New Asgard." So I was curious to know what they mean by that.
Yeah, so I hope Thor does come back to reclaim his status of All-Father, because it'll make more sense. He becomes the All-Father, she becomes the new Thor. That's fine, but to kill them off or to have two Thors is just no.
And don't forget, Billy Bob Thornton's got to show up as Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah, and then someone has to make him feel good. Yeah, someone has to make him feel good.
Oh God. So, what would you rate this film? Do you want? I know it's not your favorite. I know Into the Spider-Verse is your favorite, but what do you?
That is a 10 out of 10. But no, I don't usually rank movies that high. I told you. To me, I think Godfather 2 is the greatest movie ever made, and that's my highest rank of the movie.
10.1?
Probably,
That's a 10.1?
Oh, geez. If I could make it a 30.1, I would.
No, but you just said Into the Spider-Verse was 10, no?
No, that was a joke.
Oh,
Into the Spider-Verse is like a solid 9.
Okay, that's what she said. Okay.
Jesus. This would be a 8.5.
Okay.
This would be an 8.5.
All right, so I wasn't far. I said 8.5, 8.5. Yeah, I think that's a good score.
Yeah, there's a few things they could have cleaned up, and not mentioning Miles at all. It was very disappointing for me. So
they did mention the Black Spider-Man.
They
There's
did.
got to be a Black Spider-Man, but they didn't mention Miles. I
Yeah,
know.
they were talking about me, not mine.
Right. But we also assume with Feast being involved, and there were still little nods without saying it. But I get it. I get it. Yeah. And talking about tightening things up, the other thing that I wanted to leave out, but I am going to mention it just because it was one of the things I was just like, all right, whatever. I guess without it, we don't have a fucking movie. But look, before Strange was the Sorcerer Supreme or a sorcerer or whatever, he was a neurosurgeon. He's brilliant. He's smart. He's a calculated person. He takes risks because he's arrogant, but he's calculated in doing so. When Peter was changing the spells, look, you're doing something that could go wrong because Wong warned you about it. Take a minute. All right. You want certain people to remember you. Talk it out. Tell me what. Or, like I said, just simply say, hey, I want things the way it was before Mysterio knew. That's it.
Yeah, when he was saying it during the spell, he couldn't stop it. That's why
he stopped it once. Remember, he did stop it. He goes, okay, well, stop it, right?
No, I did. No, he did. But as he kept going, Peter kept adding things, and he's like, I'm in the throw of it.
Yeah.
You can't tell me now that you want all these things. You're making it unstable.
Yeah.
I can't control it. So I understood it. And again, I appreciated them doing it the way that they did because it was more funny. It was funny as Peter's going, he's like, wait a minute. Yeah, my aunt should know. I don't want to go through that again. Yeah, Ned should know. MJ too. Wait a minute. It was that one guy who said, hey, Spider-Man, do a flip. I want him to remember too. Like, he just kept going, and Strange is like, bro, I did one or two. That has to be it. So I appreciate it because I did think it was more humorous than anything.
Yeah, it was. All right. Well, other than that, like I said, I think we all can agree that the movie was really good. Some people think it's the best. Some people number 2, number 3, but definitely up there, and definitely my favorite MCU Spider-Man film. There's no question.
If I'm not allowed to count animated movies, it is hands down, not even close, the best Spider-Man movie ever made.
Yeah.
And it's not even close.
I can understand that. I can do. Yeah, because Into the Spider-Verse was not only a brilliant film, but just it was really good. It's just, I told you I have issues with animation and whatever, but if when we do our rankings, I am going to include it just because it's a Spider-Man movie, and it's a good Spider-Man movie. It just happens to be a cartoon, but at the same time, it still doesn't take away from it. So but I agree. This is easily, for me, the best MCU Spider-Man movie we've gotten. That's my opinion, and definitely up there. I don't know top 5, but maybe top 10 MCU films of all time. There was a couple of guys. What do you say?
No, I thought you said Spider-Man movies. I'm like, this doesn't make your top 5.
No. This makes my. You know what? This definitely gets my top 9. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, goodness gracious. I'm like, I think you're highballing a lot of those other Spider-Man movies. If this is not in your top 5.
But I like what listener Jim said earlier when because I was talking about the whole movie going experience and how I felt about it, but it did give me Endgame vibes. It did. And that's why I love this so much. But Endgame was actually one of my favorite. I believe it's my number 1, and Infinity War is right behind it. But that can alternate based on how I feel in a given day. Infinity War at one point was my number 1.
It'd be Infinity War, then this. Endgame is very low.
I know you don't like Endgame as much.
I don't.
But if I already have Endgame up there, it's so that's why I'm saying I think this does easily make my top 5. I just need to go and do I like it as much as Thor Ragnarok? Probably, yeah. But I told you why I like it as much, because I got to see the 3 Spider-Man on the screen at the same time. And I'm not going to say, well, that's a downfall, because it's not. That's a big
I put a movie like this in the same pile I put Avenger movies and Civil War, because it's a cheat code. So, like, if you're saying your top 5 is like Winter Soldier, Iron Man, Black Panther, Shang-Chi, those are solo movies that didn't really
are solo movies.
Anything.
I agree.
This is like a mega powered movie.
Yeah, this is a team up. This is a team up movie. Yeah.
Right. So when you look at it, you kind of go, well, geez, like, because then it makes it hard, because it's like, well, the next Avengers film will easily take out.
That's why, see, and that's what I'm trying to. That's why I'm trying to tread lightly when doing a ranking or talking about that in conversation with the other films, is because it's such a good movie, but it's a team up movie. So then you got to say, well, is that fair to solo films? But then also at the same time, it's not fair to discredit the movie just because it's a team up movie because it's that good. So I'm just going to go based on solely how it made me feel.
Yep.
And that's not only erect, but just I loved it. I loved it.
Excuse me, what?
Oh, you caught that? You caught that?
100%. I don't know how you think.
I had the person next to me going thwip thwip. I thought you could have taken Electro. Yeah, easily. You could have. Well, not Electro. Lizard.
I liked Electro. He added
no.
comic relief, and Electro I
Yeah.
liked in Amazing Spider-Man.
As much of a plot hole it was to have Electro there, having Jamie Foxx on screen. No, I think we needed. I thought more
Jamie
Lizard and
Foxx.
Sandman. Electro stays. I think you could have done without a Lizard and Sandman.
I
They, in
didn't
my opinion-
particularly like Lizard the way they did him in the movie, and I mean he's the character I could have done without.
Yeah.
I needed all of them because the whole premise was
You even saw Rhino in the sky if you were paying attention.
Rhino and Scorpion.
Craven.
Rhino,
Scorpion
Scorpion,
when the sky
Craven.
opened. So it's like the characters are all there, which were good.
Yeah.
You know, but Electro,
Yeah, but you
I
can say the
just,
same. You can say
I
the same thing for
appreciated
Rise of Skywalker. You heard the voices.
Yeah, no, that was great. Hearing Ahsoka in that, brought me to tears. It's just making everything canon. That was the first time Ahsoka was made.
I would like to have seen Force Ghost, but you know,
I won't argue that at all.
Yeah.
But no, I enjoyed all the villains because the whole premise was to make it insurmountable odds against Spider-Man. So you needed a hefty amount of villains. Whether some of them didn't really matter or not, you just needed a lot of villains to justify 3 Spider. Like if you only had Doc Ock, Electro, and Goblin, it's like, all right, so I needed 2 other Spider-Men to fight 3 dudes. One of them.
No, I get it. No, see, it's not the. And I'm pretty sure this is what listener Jim means because this is what I meant when I said I didn't need Sandman and Lizard. It's not that I didn't want to see them because again we knew we were getting them from the trailer, so I didn't complain about it when we said it. It was just the way they were utilized because you have all these villains on the screen at once.
Yeah.
Obviously, a couple of them are going to get shafted, and they just so happen to be.
I thought that scene where Spider-Man and Electro were fighting in the electrical area.
Yeah.
And he went and fixed it. I love that scene.
Yeah.
That was like great scene. I liked it. So
I liked I was telling them I said this on Joanne's spoiler review. I was like, I love the scene where Sandman's encased in the thing. Not Sandman. Well, they all are, but Electro's encased in the thing, and Ned's like, ask Peter about this tree. Is this a bad tree? Like, is this some
He's like,
scientist that's
tree,
straight? It's just a tree, man. Just a tree. I loved it. And that's why I'm saying we needed Jamie Foxx. Didn't make sense he was there. But I loved him being there, and I love the fact that they said, you know what, I'm gonna. Jamie's like, I'm gonna come back. I don't want to be blue, even though he's blue for a quick 30 seconds. But that's because he needed to change into this universe's power. I don't want to be blue. I don't want no comb over. I don't want to look stupid. I want to be myself, and we got it. So I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad. But I was gonna say something before that. I forgot what it was. Damn it.
Are we going to talk about the not the Venom one because we did, but the trailer?
I thought we did. I thought we were talking about Doctor Strange for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Didn't we? I mean, we could talk about it if you want because it wasn't. We got obviously 2 end credit scenes.
Mm-hmm.
We got the introduction of Venom into our world. We knew he was pulled in from the end credit scenes of Let There Be Carnage, and then he gets pulled back out from the spell, but he leaves a little something behind. So there's big speculation of what's going to happen with that and whatever. But then, of course, at the end, we get treated to a full-blown teaser for Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah.
You know, and I got to see it a couple of times since they released it yesterday. So I got that. And, of course, I've seen it twice in the movies because I've seen No Way Home twice in the movies. I need to see a full trailer before I get a little bit more excited. I was excited when we talked about this. You know, the multiverse of madness and Wanda being there and, we might get this person and that person. Is this the introduction of mutants? Like, there's a lot of things to be hyped about in this film, especially because Wanda's there. Mm-hmm. But I want a little bit more. I do. I like what they gave us. I don't want to see too much. I don't want to know the whole fucking film, but I need a little bit more. I think I'll be more hyped when I see a full-blown trailer. But the teaser was a good appetizer. I'll give it that.
I told you, I like not knowing. I like watching that trailer, and each time I watch it,
You're not wrong. Listener
do
Jim
this
is
all
not
day.
wrong. Can you imagine that would have been the? I would have thrown my popcorn all over people. I would have gotten beaten up, but I would have done it. It would have been. It would have been worth it. I would have been like, you know what? He goes like, I didn't make it. I was like, I don't care. Throwing the popcorn on you anyway. Yeah, I'm glad we didn't get that.
Yeah, no. So to me, yeah, God, that was
You
so
liked not knowing what we were watching.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just every time someone mentions that musical, I just think
You know it's coming soon. You know somebody's going to be put it in the comments. I could do this all day.
Sorry, that completely threw me off. God, I hated that so much. I like not knowing much about this Doctor Strange thing. I loved the feel of it. I loved every single thing about this trailer. Seeing America Chavez is awesome.
Mhm.
I can't wait to see more about America Chavez. No, Kitty, did you hear anything about any of the rumors? Because I know I spoke about it.
I did not. Nope.
And also, too, before you get into the rumors and whatever, but also Rachel McAdams seems to be suited up in some type of way as well.
Right.
So it is. I am curious to know what kind of role Christine Palmer is going to play in this film, besides getting married.
Right.
Wait.
He's going to go into the Illuminati. So did you hear anything about the Illuminati?
No.
All right. So that's what he's going to talk about.
If you want to know. If you don't want to know, I'm not going to say anything.
Also, too, the very first thing I thought of, and everybody's going to think this, is Strange Supreme because if you watch What If or whatever, a lot of people though now, because I've watched a lot of breakdowns. I still think it could be, especially since they gave us some of that those visuals of what we've seen in What If.
But it wouldn't make sense though.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
They're going. This may not be Strange Supreme that we saw.
No, it's just Evil Strange.
Yeah,
we're gonna get multiple Stranges in this movie, and it's just the evil. Because when everyone kept saying that, I'm like, did people miss the end of What If is him completely changed and him learning his lesson? And remember, he can't leave from protecting that sphere, or both Killmonger's Ultron
and what's his face, the robot guy.
This is gonna kill me.
Kitty, you know we're talking about the Zoloft. Not Zoloft. That's
Arnim
Zola.
Zola.
Zoloft is an exact. What do you call it? Antidepressant. Yeah.
Wow, I wasn't even going there. Okay, I thought you meant Olaf. I thought you were talking Frozen.
Yeah, Olaf.
But no. So it ends with him having to essentially be a babysitter of the cosmos.
Yeah. He's talking about Christine.
Look, I told you before, you and Joel shot it down. I'm still holding on to that. Her belt looked like the Black Widow symbol. So I'm like, maybe she was a Black Widow in another universe. Because nothing else makes sense. She's a doctor. Why would you take her across the multiverse? Like, she clearly...
Oh, we're still talking about Christine. Christine? Yeah.
I was responding to what you just had on the...
Yeah. What belt? No,
Her belt, like when you zoom in on the actual stills that Marvel dropped, not someone's grainy photo, and you zoom in on her belt, it looks like the hourglass logo of Black Widow.
Why is it green then? Unless that's green screen.
No, I don't think it was green. Wait, hold on.
You talking about when it's open to that submarine door?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's green. She's wearing a green suit. I mean, if anything, it's gray, but it's green.
No. The suit is blue. The belt is part of that. So it's all blue.
Right.
But the color I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the specific buckle.
All right. I also didn't look at images. I looked at the trailer. So I'll pull up images and try to look at it.
Okay, but look, I could be super wrong on that. 100% wrong on that. But yeah, so I'm excited. And like you said, Wong looks like he's being dusted every time he's on screen. I love that.
Yeah.
Strange is using different spells. I love that. I love when Wanda had her guard up as soon as he walked up. Like, what? And he's just like, it's friendly.
I made mistakes. Yeah, I'm not here about Westview, bitch.
Yeah, I'm not here about that. I don't care. Who cares about those people? It's New Jersey. Who cares?
I'm not here about your TV show.
Right? Yeah.
This is a movie.
About New Jersey. I appreciated that. And then Wanda looked crazy.
Yeah.
In this. And I was saying, Kitty, that my theory for Wanda, because I know a lot of people were rumoring she could be a villain. I think what happens is she does go to help Strange. And at one point of these multiversal travels, she'll go, that looks just like my kids. Let me
My
go grab
kids?
them. And then Strange is like, no, you can't
Yeah.
do that. And she's just like, I'm sorry, you must not know that you can't stop me. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna get my kids, and I'm gonna come back, and
You think so?
I like what you said
I
yesterday.
think that 100%.
I thought. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you think I was asking.
Yeah, you thought I was asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna.
I
Go
kind of in my mind, I'm like, I think because she wants her kids. Yeah.
There was the fact that obviously we've seen her in the costume, right? So she looks beautiful in that costume when she's doing the whatever she's spelling and she's levitating. But the fact that we know, or at least I think it's going to happen, that she's going to get even more scarier looking, or even more like things are going to go out of control, especially if she starts to use a full blown power against him. So just envision.
You know what I like? I can't remember what Avengers movie it was, or I can't remember what movie it was. The brain, but there was one movie where she was really ghost-like and creepy, where she was just like lurking in the shadows, and it was like
that
really,
was Ultron, Age of Ultron.
Was it Ultron?
Yeah, that was when we first got introduced to her character.
Okay.
Well, both of them.
That's what I really loved that they did. I want her to go back that way.
Yeah,
Like,
that had horror elements though, and I'm glad you brought that up, because she would just like. She literally just popped out of nowhere and was whispering in their ears.
Yeah, that shit was creepy.
Also, remember, Josh Whedon was trying to make a darker Avengers movie that Feige wouldn't let him make.
Yeah.
So it was just the element to that. Because remember, it was the whole Ultron was supposed to be this whole spooky kind of thing that never panned out.
No.
I don't think Feige's plan for Wanda was to ever go that dark, but maybe that's changed.
Yeah.
Because she looks dark as hell in that trailer. She looks like she's summoning Mephisto. You know what I'm saying? That's just for me. But she looks like she's into some crazy stuff. But if you did want to know the rumors, Kitty, the rumors of the Illuminati team that we'll see Wanda and Strange go up against is a team of Patrick Stewart's Charles Xavier, Ian's Mr. Fantastic. This one's a big one. Monica Rambeau. But here's the twist. You ready? In her universe that she comes from in this movie, she's actually Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
She's Captain Marvel. You're getting Superior Iron Man. And for anyone who doesn't know Superior Iron Man, it was the universe where Stark was evil. So a lot of people are rumoring that, because the original story was when Jon Favreau was casting for Iron Man, Marvel at that time wanted a big name. They were going for Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise never wanted to be in a helmet. He didn't want to be in the HUD ever. So they were like, well, bye. And then John pitched him on Robert Downey Jr. So people are rumoring Tom Cruise could be the Superior Iron Man, which would work because Iron Man spends more time with like a crown on his head. Like the crown that goes like this than the actual mask. So you could literally sell Tom Cruise, hey, your face will be here the whole time.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about a mask.
I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind Tom Cruise. I mean, I love Tom Cruise as an actor. I wouldn't mind that.
I prefer that because if you're going to use Robert Downey Jr., I'd rather you wait till Secret Wars or Avengers versus X-Men, where it means more.
I want it to mean more too. I agree with you.
Where when
100%.
he and Chris Evans come back, it's like, what? Like, what? No way. Like, they're back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't want him to be a villain. I don't want RDJ to be a villain.
I don't need that. So that and Thor's brother, and I keep forgetting his actual name, but Thor's brother is supposed to be part of. No, not Chris Hemsworth.
That was funny. Who said that yesterday on your show? That was funny.
Was Liam. It Patches? I think Patches said it. And
I think it was Patches.
Picture, he's like, I don't even have powers. I'm just Chris Hemsworth.
I'm just Liam Hemsworth.
Liam Hemsworth. Just hanging out.
But yeah, so apparently the Illuminati is what will be fighting Wanda. Magneto is rumored to be in this. Michael Fassbender's Magneto is rumored to be in this. So they're going to do a lot of freaky stuff with this movie, bringing in old faces. But bringing in the Illuminati is huge, and I hope they stick with the Illuminati going forward, because that's one of the dopest team ups to me of Marvel history. So,
and do you think this has to be the turn? I mean, because we know that he said several years ago that it was going to be within the first within 5 years or so, right? And I think that was already 3 years ago. At what point and at what catalyst and what platform do you use the introduction of mutants? There has to be something like. Do you think that this is the movie that's going to start it? started up. I'm not saying we're going to get full blown X-Men out of it, but like, is this going to be the first introduction to mutants that we're going to get in the MCU?
I hope not.
But then how do you do it then?
really
Because
hope-
I
told
feel like
you
the
in the
more you
comics-
drag it out and the more you're not introducing them, like, where are they coming from then?
I told you in the comics, the mutants lived on an island outside of everything.
Manhattan.
They lived away. Yes, exactly. So I told you I would like it if Xavier and Magneto have been around since like the 50s or 60s,
Okay.
right? And a Civil War type of event happened, like in the comics, because in the comics, a mutant attack is what starts Civil War, not Wanda. Well, technically, she was a mutant. But I would rather they struck a deal with S.H.I.E.L.D. at the time that they wouldn't engage in war, but they can't live amongst people. They have to go. And they've been on the island the whole time, and Wanda finds them and finally feels like she fits in with people because they're her people, and she brings them back. And the first two people you see are Wanda and Magneto, leading the charge for we deserve to live amongst people.
So there you go. Why not have that as an end credit scene where she finds the island?
Because that means if that's an end credit scene, it immediately has to leak into an X-Men movie. And I don't know if I'm putting that pressure on whoever has to come write that movie.
Yeah.
All right, explain to people that they've been here this whole time.
Yeah, this is tough. That's what I'm saying. It's tough. It really is. It sucks that we just got the rights to them now. It really does.
It changes either way you go.
Yeah, it does. I don't know.
But yeah, I'm excited for Multiverse of Madness. I can't wait.
Yeah.
And
I think
Baron having dreads. That stole the deal for me. I'm just like, what has he been through? Like, the fact that he just said, you know what? I'm stressed out here, man.
And I joked and I said the pandemic.
Right.
He grew his hair out during the pandemic.
Couldn't go to a barber.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think, like I said, I think we all can agree that Spider-Man: No Way Home was just a great film. It was fun. It was entertaining. It was emotional. It made us happy. It made us tear up. But more importantly, it did really. Not only did it round out Holland's trilogy, and giving him a really good arc, but it really does. And the more I thought about it, and I'm glad. I'm glad I sat in on your spoiler review, Juwan, and I'm glad I watched other videos on it. I'm glad I saw it twice in the movies myself. But I do like the fact that was his origin story without telling an origin story, and from here on out, like, he's been through so much, but now more than ever, he's all alone, and this is going to be a testament to what his character is going to be moving forward. And I'm also glad that they didn't hesitate. They didn't we're not going to get. And I'm hoping this is the truth, but with them already saying that a fourth film is in pre-production and in talks already, we're not going to get this bullshit where Tom may be out of a deal or they're going to strike a deal. What's going to happen? I'm glad they said, you know what? No, he's coming out. He's our Spider-Man, and we're going to have a fourth film.
Well,
hopefully within a couple of years.
Tom was talking like he doesn't want to do this anymore.
Wait, hold on. Eternals? I don't think so. Maybe a break, but. Look what Daniel Craig said. Like even Juwan said, look what Daniel Craig said about James Bond. It's
to what listener Jim is saying. No, and that was their biggest mistake of that movie, not mentioning the fact that the Celestials are why mutants exist.
Yeah,
the fact that you didn't do it there was probably it's in the long run is going to be one of your biggest mistakes, because it would have been a way to explain it so people go, okay, that's how the DNA of mutations happened. Okay, that's how we got to where Wanda is. I get it. So then however you introduce mutants, it softens the blow. But look, Feige clearly has a plan that will blow us away, and we'll see it very soon. So
yeah,
that's why I'm not worried. But yeah, they missed a huge opportunity, because that is how mutants came to be. Because that's how what's his name from not the last Fox X-Men movie, the Apocalypse. Apocalypse was the first mutant, and that's who the Eternals created. And then from them, other mutants were created. So you had a chance. You had an opportunity.
I agree. But all right, guys. Obviously, thank you again for joining me in doing this spoiler review together. We just did our Hawkeye season finale spoiler review, which is up on my channel now. Listener Jim, Brandon, you guys were a part of that. Peter Parker, also, thank you for being here. I mean, we got the Peter Parker commenting on his life story. you know, and hopefully we did it justice. Hopefully we gave you enough praise. But I do want to thank listener Jim and Brandon for returning for this stream. This was a big film. This was a great film, and the execution really was. The execution's what made the film as good as it was, because we already kind of had the speculation and the theories of what was going to happen, and the fact that it was not only there on screen but executed perfectly and brilliantly, it just made the film that much more enjoyable. So, again, thank you guys for coming on. As I stated before, but the same thing applies. Jawan's link to his YouTube channel over at Geek Vibes Nation is in the description below. Go follow him. Kitty has an OnlyFans that she's proud of. Go follow her. She doesn't have OnlyFans. It's a running joke. So for listener Jim and Brandon, I'm only kidding. Peter, you're more than welcome to go and look at her videos. But she doesn't really have an OnlyFans. But she's not a YouTuber, so I kid around with the OnlyFans. But I have one. It's got no pictures. But
Joe has one. He does.
Yeah, it's just me petting dogs.
You want me to come to your YouTube? Don't ruin it.
But no, I'm only kidding. But yeah, guys, go ahead and subscribe to Juwan. His link is in the description. And of course, if you're not subscribed here, please go do so. We got things coming up. Obviously, Book of Boba Fett is in a week from yesterday. We got that coming up. Cobra Kai.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait. Season 4 Cobra Kai.
Great.
And then, like you said, Juwan, and just in a few months, you know, it's going to be a blink, and it's already here. February, March, we're probably getting. You said February or March is Moon Knight.
It should be either February or March. I'll just say it should be either one.
Listen to Jim loves OnlyFans, so there we go. I'm telling you, yeah.
There you go, Joe. There you go, Joe.
Oh, for me, okay,
Yeah.
All right. I don't think you meant me, but all right. Yeah, so we got a lot coming up, guys. So stay tuned for more content. Matrix also, guys. I am going to be doing a Matrix Resurrections spoiler review soon. I got the chance to watch it yesterday. I want to do a rewatch, and I want to talk about it with you guys. So if you guys are into that, that's coming up on my channel soon, maybe sometime next week. And a few other things in the works. But as I said, the only way you're going to know about it is if you subscribe. So please go do so. Enjoy your upcoming weekend. Enjoy the holidays. Merry Christmas. Anything you celebrate. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everybody.
And I will see everybody really soon.